What if I told you that everything you believed about emotional healing after 60 is wrong? That your deepest wounds don't have to define your golden years? Today, we're uncovering the hidden truth that could change your life forever, the art of letting go, the secret many never learn. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear might just save your heart. The art of letting go, healing emotional wounds after 60. Nay thuat boang bo, han trin chualan vet thuang cam suk sao tu oi 60. Part 1, Understanding Emotional Baggage, What We Carry into Old Age. Hu vi gan nang cam suk, en hung gi tomang theo den tu oi gia. Opening, warm, honest tone. There comes a time in life when silence speaks louder than words. When the laughter fades, and the noise of ambition softens into a whisper, we are left sitting quietly, with ourselves. For many people over 60, this quietness reveals something deeper, an inner landscape shaped not only by memories but also by wounds. Emotional wounds. You've lived, you've loved, and you've lost. Perhaps you've built a family, a career, a life full of responsibilities. But in those quiet hours late at night, or in a still morning with tea in hand, something unspoken still lingers. An ache. A regret. A memory that hasn't softened with time. What do we carry into old age? 1. The silent weight of unhealed pain. Emotional wounds are not like physical scars. They don't always show. They hide under politeness, under busy schedules, under the smile you've learned to wear. Some began in childhood from an absent parent, a broken promise, or words that stung and never left. Others came later, betrayal in love, loss of a friend, a dream that slipped away. After 60, when the pace of life slows, those wounds often begin to speak louder. Loneliness, depression, irritability, even physical ailments, sometimes they're all just echoes of old pain asking to be seen. And here's the truth, you can't truly age gracefully until you've sat with those echoes. Listened to them. Understood them. 2. Why the past still hurts, even decades later. You may wonder, why do I still feel pain from something that happened 30, even 40 years ago? Because the brain doesn't measure time emotionally. It doesn't say, this pain is old, let's let it go. It says, this still matters. And unless it's processed, spoken aloud, written down, mourned properly, it stays frozen inside you like ice beneath the surface. In your 30s or 40s, you may have brushed it aside, too busy surviving. But now, with more time to reflect, you realize, time doesn't heal all wounds. Attention does. Compassion does. Willingness to feel does. 3. Guilt, regret, and the myth of too late. So many elders carry guilt. I wasn't the parent I should have been. I stayed in that relationship too long. I never told them how I really felt. But here's a truth rarely spoken, guilt is not a punishment. It's a sign that your heart is still alive. Regret is not weakness, it's wisdom aching to be expressed. After 60, you are not too late. You're right on time to rewrite the inner narrative. You cannot change the past, but you can change the relationship you have with it. You can begin the quiet work of forgiveness, especially forgiving yourself. 4. The heavy suitcase of suppressed emotion. Imagine for a moment that every time you swallowed your sadness, every time you said I'm fine when you weren't, you packed another stone into a suitcase. Now imagine carrying that suitcase for decades. Is it any wonder your back aches? That your energy feels low? Emotional weight shows up physically, tight shoulders, shallow breath, insomnia. The body remembers what the mind avoids. And unless we choose to unpack that suitcase gently, piece by piece, it will weigh us down more than age ever could. 5. Cultural silence and the older generation. Many of us were raised in times when emotional honesty wasn't welcomed. Especially for our men. Especially in Asian cultures or conservative households. Crying was weakness. Anger was dangerous. Vulnerability was shameful. So we learned to suppress, to endure. And while that made us strong on the outside, it often left us wounded on the inside. Now, decades later, we find ourselves unsure how to open up even to ourselves. But vulnerability isn't a sign of failure. It's a doorway to freedom. And healing begins the moment we give ourselves permission to feel what we never could before. 6 stories from others. You're not alone. Let me tell you about Mrs. Lean, 68, who spent years blaming herself for her daughter's estrangement. In her words, "I was too strict, too tired. I didn't know how to show love." For 2 decades, she carried this guilt in silence until she wrote a letter, never meant to be sent. Just written to say, "I'm sorry. I did my best." And in writing it, she cried for the first time in years. Or Mr. Thomas, 73, who never told anyone how losing his brother in the war broke him. For over 40 years, he avoided any reminders. Until one day, he visited a memorial and finally said, "I miss you." A simple act. But in doing so, he felt a release he never thought possible. These stories remind us, you're not alone. Everyone carries something. And everyone can heal. 7. Why now is the perfect time to heal? You may think healing is for the young. That it's too late to start the journey now. But actually, the opposite is true. Now is exactly the right time. You have wisdom the young don't. You've seen life in all its beauty and brutality. You understand what truly matters. And now, with fewer distractions and more inner space, you can return to the places inside you that have been waiting for you sometimes for decades. In this stage of life, healing isn't about fixing what's broken. It's about loving what's always been there, even the wounded parts. 8. Preparing for the journey ahead. Before we move into the practical tools in part 2 like writing exercises, meditation, and techniques for emotional release, we first need to accept one thing. There is nothing wrong with you for feeling pain. You are not weak for needing to heal. You are not broken. You are human. And healing is not about forgetting. It's about remembering with less pain, more compassion. Closing, gentle invitation. So take a breath. Place your hand on your heart. And ask quietly, what am I still carrying? Not to blame yourself. Not to dwell. But to begin. To begin the sacred work of letting go. In the next part, we'll gently explore how to unpack that suitcase, one emotion, one memory, one healing breath at a time. Backhand index pointing right. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Your journey matters. And someone else might just need to hear these words today. Part 2, Gentle Tools for Emotional Healing, Step-by-Step Practices for the Heart. Opening, calm, reassuring tone. In Part 1, we explored the emotional burdens many of us carry into old age, memories we haven't made peace with, feelings left unspoken, grief unhealed. We now understand that healing is not about erasing the past, but embracing it with kindness and courage. So in this part, let's take the next step. You don't need a therapist to begin healing, though therapy can be a powerful companion. What you do need is time, intention, and the willingness to sit gently with yourself. Healing is not a race. It's not a grand revelation. It's the slow, steady act of caring for your emotional wounds the way you might care for a tired child, with patience and love. Let us begin. 1. The healing letter, speaking the unspoken. One of the most powerful tools for emotional release is writing a letter you may never send. A healing letter. Here's how it works. Choose someone you have unresolved feelings with: your mother, father, ex-partner, a sibling, a lost friend, or even yourself. Find a quiet place and start writing as if they're sitting across from you. Say everything you've never said. Your hurt. Your longing. Your anger. Your forgiveness. This isn't about being polite or literary. It's about being real. Many elders who've done this say it was the first time they truly allowed themselves to speak their truth. Some burned the letter afterward. Others saved it. Some cried. Some sat in silence for hours. You don't have to send it. The medicine is in the expression. The body remembers, so we breathe. Emotional pain doesn't just live in our thoughts. It lives in our bodies. In the tightness of the chest. In the shallow breath. In the tension we've carried for years. One of the simplest, yet most overlooked healing practices is conscious breathing. Try this now. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold for 2 seconds. Exhale gently through your mouth for 6 seconds. Do this 5 times. With each breath, imagine releasing a small part of the pain you've been holding. Don't try to force anything. Just allow. Your breath is your friend, it doesn't judge, doesn't rush. Over time, this practice calms the nervous system and creates space for suppressed emotions to rise, and gently pass. 3. The safe space visualization. Your mind doesn't know the difference between imagined safety and real safety. That's why visualization is such a powerful healing tool. Try this. Close your eyes. Imagine a place where you feel completely safe. It could be real, a forest, a childhood room, a beach, or imagined, like a warm cabin or gentle light. Picture yourself there. Hear the sounds. Feel the air. Smell the scents. Now, invite your younger self into this space. Any age. Any version of you that still feels wounded. Sit beside them. Hold their hand. Tell them, you are safe now. I see you. I love you. This may bring tears. That's good. It means your heart is softening. Doing this daily even for 3 minutes can begin rewiring the emotional patterns built over decades. 4. Naming the emotion, acknowledging without judgment. Many elders were never taught the language of emotions. We say, I'm fine or I'm upset, but rarely go deeper. But healing begins when we name what we feel. Not to fix it. Just to witness it. Here's a simple practice. Each morning, ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Where do I feel it in my body? Can I allow it, without trying to change it? You might discover you're carrying sadness in your throat, or anxiety in your belly, or even unexpected joy in your chest. When we name emotions, we reduce their power. We no longer fear them, they become companions, not enemies. 5. The ritual of release. Symbolic actions can help release emotions that logic can't. Try this ritual. Write down something you're ready to let go of, a regret, a resentment, a painful memory. Fold the paper gently. Place it in a bowl of water, or bury it in the soil, or burn it safely with intention. As you do, say aloud, I release this with love. I don't need to carry it anymore. The act may seem small, but symbols speak directly to the soul. Many who do this feel a surprising lightness afterward. 6. Connecting with others, even just one person. Loneliness can deepen emotional wounds. We begin to believe that we are the only ones hurting. But you're not. Healing accelerates when shared. Even with one safe person. This could be a trusted friend, a support group, a spiritual mentor, or even a grandchild. You don't need to tell them everything. Just start with, I've been thinking about some things from my past. I'm working on healing something inside. Sometimes, simply being heard is the medicine we've longed for our whole lives. 7. Embracing forgiveness, slowly, honestly. Forgiveness isn't about excusing the past. It's about releasing its grip on your heart. You may never hear I'm sorry from the person who hurt you. That's okay. Forgiveness isn't a gift for them, it's a gift for you. Start by saying to yourself, I forgive, not because they deserve it, but because I deserve peace. You may need to repeat this for weeks, months, years. That's okay. Forgiveness is not a one-time event. It's a gentle practice of setting yourself free. 8. Daily check-in, the gentle habit of self-attention. Before bed each night, ask yourself 3 questions. What emotion showed up today? What did I do that nurtured me? What would I like to feel tomorrow? Write the answers down, even if brief. This builds a habit of inner awareness, like gently tuning your emotional instrument each day. Over time, this daily check-in becomes a compass, helping you live with more presence, more softness. Closing, you are worthy of this healing. If you've read this far, take a deep breath and know this. You are already healing. Right now. Just by reading these words. Just by wanting to heal. You may have lived for others your entire life as a parent, a worker, a partner. But now, at this sacred stage of life, it is time to return to you. Not selfishly, but soulfully. You deserve to feel light again. To smile from the inside. To sleep peacefully, knowing your heart has finally been heard. Backhand index pointing right. In part 3, we'll explore how to maintain emotional resilience, how to handle recurring emotional triggers, and how to turn pain into quiet wisdom for your remaining years. Part 3, Sustaining Emotional Resilience, Cultivating Wisdom and Peace in Your Golden Years. Opening, warm, reflective tone. As we enter part 3, you have already embarked on the path of healing, learning to acknowledge your wounds, to breathe through the pain, to create safe spaces for your heart. But healing is not a one-time event, it is a lifelong companion. Now, we will explore how to nurture emotional resilience, the capacity to bounce back gently and gracefully when old pains resurface, and how to transform your experiences into wisdom that enriches your golden years. 1. Understanding emotional triggers, recognizing old patterns. Even after healing, old emotional triggers can still arise unexpectedly. A certain smell, a song, a phrase, or even a particular time of year may bring back waves of grief or anger. Recognize this as natural. The mind and body remember deeply. When triggered, pause and acknowledge, this feeling is coming up. It is a signal, not a threat. Use your breath to ground yourself. Reflect, what is this moment trying to show me? What old wound is being touched? By identifying triggers without judgment, you prevent being overwhelmed. Instead, you cultivate the ability to respond with kindness instead of reaction. 2. The power of mindful presence. Mindfulness means being fully present with what is without trying to fix it. You can practice mindfulness through simple daily rituals. Morning mindfulness. Upon waking, take a few moments to scan your body and mind. Notice sensations or emotions without labeling them as good or bad. Walking meditation. As you walk, feel the ground beneath your feet. Listen to the sounds around you. Allow your mind to settle. Eating with awareness. Savor every bite slowly, appreciating the flavors, textures, and nourishment. These small acts build your inner reservoir of calm and clarity, helping you respond thoughtfully to emotional challenges. 3. Transforming pain into purpose. Many elders find that their emotional wounds become a source of deep empathy and purpose. Ask yourself, how can my experiences help others? What wisdom can I share from my journey? You might choose to volunteer for causes close to your heart. Mentor younger generations with your stories of resilience. Write letters or journals expressing your truths. Create art, music, or gardens that reflect your healing. When pain is given meaning through contribution, it loses its sting and becomes a beacon of light. 4. Cultivating gratitude and joy. Healing doesn't mean ignoring pain, it means embracing life fully, with its contrasts. Gratitude is a potent antidote to emotional suffering. Try keeping a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you are thankful for, even small things like the warmth of sunlight or a kind word. Reflect on moments of joy, no matter how fleeting. This practice shifts your focus from what's missing or hurtful to what is alive and beautiful right now. 5. Creating rituals of renewal. Rituals mark transitions and honor growth. They remind us we are part of a larger cycle. Consider lighting a candle each morning with an intention for healing and peace. Creating a small altar or space with objects that represent your journey. Celebrating anniversaries of breakthroughs or letting go. These rituals anchor your healing and offer moments of sacred reflection. 6. Embracing the community of the heart. Healing flourishes in connection. Seek out groups or circles where emotions and stories can be shared safely. Senior groups, spiritual communities, or creative workshops. If mobility or health limits your options, consider virtual communities or phone support groups. You will find that sharing, listening, and witnessing others' healing deepens your own. 7. The gift of compassion for yourself and others. Compassion softens the hardest edges of the heart. Practice self-compassion by speaking to yourself as you would a dear friend, allowing space for imperfection, recognizing that healing is non-linear and requires patience. Extend this compassion outward, understanding that others too carry invisible wounds. 8. Preparing for the future with peace. As we age, thoughts of mortality may arise. Emotional resilience includes embracing this with acceptance and peace. Reflect on questions like, what legacy of love and healing do I wish to leave? How can I find peace in the unknown? Meditations on impermanence help cultivate serenity and deepen appreciation for the present moment. Closing, the journey continues. Dear friend, your journey of emotional healing after 60 is a testament to courage, wisdom, and profound love. The art of letting go is not about forgetting, but about making room for peace, for joy, and for the rich fullness of your remaining years. May you continue to walk this path with kindness and grace, knowing that your heart's resilience is a gift to yourself and to the world.